Our next historical figure was a woman of intelligence, courage, and determination. Raised in Jefferson City, Dallmeyer Shelden grew up encouraged by her father to think independently and speak her mind. As a young woman, she became active in civic life, helping found the Art Club of Jefferson City and organizing for women's suffrage. After women gained the right to vote with passage of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, Dolly quickly stepped into political leadership, becoming one of the first women in the nation elected to high party office and the first woman to hold political office in Missouri. Fearless and outspoken, she helped open the door for women to take their place in American politics. Today, Dallmeyer Shelden shares her story.
When I was still a student in Jefferson City High School, I wrote an essay explaining why our city deserved a public library funded by Mr. Carnegie. Imagine my delight when I won the Illustrated Sketchbook Prize essay in 1900. They called me a young lady of good mind and charming person. I took that as a challenge, something to live up to. After graduating in 1903, I traveled to Washington, D.C. for the National Park Seminar. And when I returned home, I helped found the Art Club of Jefferson City. For nearly a decade, I served as its president. We held lectures, exhibits, and gatherings every week because I believe the arts should belong to the entire community. But the world was changing, and so was I. In 1914, I traveled to my father's homeland in Germany. While we were there, war broke out in Europe. In Berlin, we saw soldiers mobilizing, trains filling with young men headed for the front. Our trip home was delayed for nearly 2 months. This was, I later said, one of the most educational experiences of my life. When America entered the war, I threw myself into service. I served as vice chairman of the Cole County Liberty Loan Committee alongside my father. We encouraged our neighbors to support the war effort, and I must say, Cole County became the first county in Missouri to exceed its goal. After one speech at this courthouse in 1918, a newspaper called me the Joan of Arc of Missouri. I must admit that I rather liked that. But the cause closest to my heart was women's suffrage. For generations, women had paid taxes, raised families, and strengthened their communities. Yet we had a voice in the government that made the laws. So I helped organize the Jefferson City Equal Suffrage League. We spoke at meetings, organized rallies, and insisted that women deserved the right to vote. And in 1920, when the 19th Amendment was ratified, the door to political life finally opened for me, for everyone, women. Yes. And I stepped through it. I became a chairman of the Women's County Committee, chairman of the Women's Republican State Committee, and vice president of the Missouri State Republican Club. Yeah. In fact, I became the first woman to hold political office in Missouri and one of the first women in the nation elected to high office. Of course, politics is not always kind to outspoken women, as we know. At the state convention, the party leaders attempted to send an all-male delegation to the Chicago Presidential Convention. Well, I simply wouldn't have it. I spoke out. The newspaper said I had smashed the plans of the bosses to ignore women. The final delegation included 2 women. Although I was not among them, progress had still been made. One reporter described me this way: a young woman of most forceful personality with a voice that carries and a fearlessness that inspires confidence. I suppose that is true. Later, I married a widowed dentist from Kansas City and moved there, where I continued my work in civic and political life. In 1924, I was appointed to fill a vacancy on the Kansas City Council's upper house. My dear father, who had always supported me, set out to attend one of the council meetings, but tragically he died in an automobile accident on his way. His belief in me never left my heart. Throughout my life, I remained active in community organizations, clubs, and politics. I even served as president of a 1,000-member 20th Century Republican Club and several civic societies in Kansas City. Years later, a historian said that of all the women active in civic life, I was among the most prominent. But titles and recognition were never truly the point. The point was, women deserved a voice, Women deserved opportunity, and women deserved a seat at the table where decisions were made. I lived long enough to see the world change in ways my younger self could hardly imagine. And if my voice helped open one door for the women who came after me, then every speech, every meeting, and every battle in the political arena was worth it. I died in 1980 in Kansas City, Missouri at the age of 95. I am Dallmeyer Shelden.